Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Just Talks About Stuff with a topic that I see needs to be discussed on my channel because it's just something that, even though I might be aware of how to deal with that kind of problem, I know that many people aren't. In general, if you feel like, oh, I already know that. I already know how that works. Why don't you? Don't stroke your ego. Teach people how to be the best version of themselves by learning them techniques that might have helped you. And if it doesn't help them, that's okay too. Then just give up. But don't go around saying, "Oh yeah, at least I know how to do that," because then you're just a huge fucking dick. And today's topic is, how I deal with hateful people online. So, of course, I want to tell other people how to do that because I see how it affects people. It's not only me that used to be affected by it, but many of my friends. And even if you say, oh, it doesn't bother me, I still see people get very invested in total big ass fights in their DMs. And I wonder, why are you spending your time on shit like that? Now, I always get the excuse, but yeah, they were coming at me. So? They were just trying to get your goddamn attention and they got it. And what do you think you will change the moment you, obviously get into that whole conversation and start being very aggressive towards them as well? It doesn't really get you anywhere. And today, let's just grab, for example, a conversation where you know somebody and one of their friends doesn't like that you are, for example, hanging out with them. Like a very cheesy teenager bullshit thing. And they text you like, hey, I see that you are stealing him or her from me. Like, what are you doing? Blah, blah. Like, this is a very simple setup we're doing here, right? And you see comments appear on your photos with them saying things like, oh, well, at least we went to do this and that. And like, I see people get bothered by that. Like, I've literally seen this happen and I was like, why are you reacting to her? She's just fucking jealous that you get to hang out with him or her. So what's the problem, Like, why would you fight her jealousy when jealousy is just a very sad little emotion that's not worth any of your energy? And the moment you say something like that to a person who's obviously very affected by those comments, they're like, well, what do you mean? I have to fight for myself. I have to stand tall. I have to show them who the boss is. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you don't even try, then they won't even know what the fuck you want. They'll be like, oh, well, they're not saying anything. They're not reacting. Does that mean they gave up? Or I don't get it. Or they'll just let it go eventually. If they don't, then probably a sulker, to say the least. I mean, Jesus Christ. But what I've always just seen, like when somebody gave me hateful comments, like people delete those things. The only time I would delete a hateful comment is to protect the person in the comments. Now, I've never had a huge following when I used to use social media, but if you see, hey, my followers can be really aggressive, be really mean, delete that comment. Not for the best of yourself, but for the person that's really about to get a barrage of hateful people. Because even when you are a content creator, you cannot control your followers. And I don't know how many fucking times I have seen things like, oh, this example star, their followers have attacked this star over this thing because they once found out that they had a dispute 5 years ago. And then my whole question is, really? Are you seriously gonna blame the person for their followers? Look, somebody once compared this to, yeah, but when you're a content creator, your followers are like your children. And the moment you're not responsible and you don't teach your children how to behave, any mistake that they make will be redirected to you. Yeah, I get that, but those followers are not the children. They are just people who think, oh, this is interesting content. I want to follow the content. Now, of course, if the content is really telling these followers to, hey, go hate, go spam in their comments, go fucking, I don't know, DDoS their websites, just anything, Still, I would like to kindly say that the people, that if this is the scenario, then the content creator and the followers are just as fucking guilty. But back to how you can deal with hateful people. What if these followers barrage you? First of all, if you feel like you can't handle something like this, if you can't handle the fact that people have sometimes everyone has opinions, but sometimes people have opinions without really having any good arguments or they just follow people with the same opinions and then throw them at you and just say, yeah, but my opinion's right. If you don't think you can handle that in the first place, then reconsider if your mental health is appropriate for using social media, since it is something quite challenging to have when you're not mentally stable. And the next, when you do receive these messages, just ignore them. I don't know why. There's just like this something that I've been thinking about lately. When I was younger, I was always told that when I was bullied, that I should just take it and ignore them because they would stop eventually. And that's what my mom said. And my dad would say something like, yeah, just beat them up back. And my mom said, don't beat them up until they hit you. And my dad wasn't very clear about that, but I think he meant the same thing, right? But that's still a tough thing. Like, quite frankly, the whole being aggressive back doesn't always help. If someone really needs physical proof to stop them from harassing you, then that might be the only option. But I have never encountered that myself, despite being around a lot of different, even toxic personalities. But maybe that's more of a mental toxicity than really a, oh my god, I'm aggressive, I'm gonna beat you up. Sorry, what was I trying to say? This whole, the ignoring thing, it might seem really hard to do, but that's kind of the whole point. Like, it's just a text message online. It's just a line of text. It's a code sent from someone's device to yours. Half of the time, these people wouldn't even dare to say it right in your face. Some would, but most of them don't. And I often see, like, these kind of redemption videos or things where they're like, oh, this person bullies me. They said they're going to stalk me. Well, I just hacked their phone or something like that. And now I know where they live and I threaten them with that. And usually they're like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm scared, So these bullies, they do have feelings and that kind of stuff too. And that means that as long as you keep ignoring them, their little feelings and emotions won't be satisfied. It's just how it works. Like, when someone is like really following a artist though, like that's what I'm currently wondering. Like, would they still stop after you don't satisfy them? Because I know that some people are really brain dead and they're like, oh, he said that I should attack these people, and I think they will only stop when this artist has told them to stop. But here we are really looking at the example of someone, just one person that has just taken a liking on you, because that's the thing. I don't even want to say they took the time to hate you. They actually gave themselves the space and time to go harass you, aka they're spending time on you. And this is something that has always made me so confused. You are trying to hurt a person by giving them attention, whether it's good or bad. Think about that. That's what helped me a lot. When people were harassing me, I was like, creaky chair. I really need a new chair, but it's not like I got any money for that. Well, I mean, I got another plastic chair, but that's not fucking comfortable. And I'm really like tiny, so I need a little lifted one. I'm not a tall person at all. Basically, you need to realize that these people are like, literally, they come home, they grab their phone and they're like, oh yeah, and now I spent 30 minutes of my time fighting this kid online, this person. Do you know how stupid they are in comparison to you then ignoring them? Like, at the moment that you ignore this person, you are so much more mature. Always try to be more mature than the other person in a situation. Even if you're getting reactions back like, oh, but you're just not saying anything. Oh, you can't handle me. No, I don't want to handle you, bitch. I don't. I'm not in the mood, and that's the thing. Like, as long as it's online, that's what this whole episode is focused on. Online, right? Of course, you may have the question, what about real life harassment? And that is a tough topic, even for me to discuss, since I've been in that situation too, and I still need to kind of reprocess that and put it into an episode-like format, so it won't be coming anytime soon. But online, it's really, anyone can make a fake account and fucking harass you. And the fact that they are willing to set up fake accounts, maybe even use their real account, that kind of stuff, you know? They're wasting their time on you. And I mean, by wasting, instead of spending their precious time on thinking about themselves and caring for themselves, because usually, sometimes these people are even incapable of that. They're like, let's go bully some other people. Like, they literally don't even, they don't want to change, they don't want to heal, they don't want to become a better person. They are just there to make your life worse, and you should pity them. I always pity these kind of people. I'm like, why? Why do you feel the need to bully me or other people? Like, don't you have better things to do? Like, aren't you failing school maybe? Or is your mom sick? Like, go help her. Why are you harassing people online? That's just such a huge waste of time. Now, the next thing that I just thought about was, what if they leak pictures, videos with sexual content in them online? Contact the police. I am so sorry, but the moment that happens, they have definitely crossed a line that is very, very dangerous. To even get to that point that they leak those things, this is where I'm also gonna say, yeah, don't send nudes. And I know that's very hard. I'm fucking guilty myself. Everyone sends nudes at some point in their life. Quite funnily, it's really not something that I've heard people say, yeah, no, I've never sent a nude. I've never ever met someone who has not done that. So it's pretty hard to say to someone, yeah, I have, yeah, like, I'm not gonna start sending nudes anymore, you know? And I mean, obviously some people send things like half revealing things. And I personally agree. I think that's better, because if you're even gonna send nudes, don't send your face. Unless you really, really know who this person is and you can really, really trust them. And even then, I'm still not comfortable with doing such things. Not gonna lie. I don't know if what I even sent to some people are actual nudes, since there isn't even that much nude content to see, and I'm still underage, so they could definitely use that against me. So I don't even send that. I just send revealing pictures. Still, the face, it's not there. And if this person is saying things like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't see your face. No, don't. Be smart. While you're under the age of 18, especially, I don't know what the laws are in your state, just be smart and only send maybe at most revealing. And I'm not talking about like people that are 14, 15. Even that I find terribly disgusting. But when you're reaching 18 and you're in the situation of where you want to send nudes and stuff, wait. Really wait. Make sure the other person is not in any way capturing these things and that kind of stuff. Like I said before, what I do and what I promote everyone, and what I really would like everyone to strongly do, unless they are absolutely sure, and even still then, do not send any pictures of, let's just say, breasts, genitals, and your face. These, if anyone, and like, even if your face is not included, people can still say it's your nude, but I don't know how much that happens. Usually when you see leaked nudes, or at least the stories I've read, you could definitely see the person's face in them. So if you are really fucking tempted to send some nudes, please, face, no, don't do that. I definitely wanted to include this in the episode, but I know it's not going to be very common for everyone, but there could also be people who are just going to ask you for nudes all the time online. Also, ignore them, please. This is also included in the hateful thing, you know? And I know how tempting it can be to then say, like, oh, fuck you and stuff, and, like, engage in a conversation. Do not waste your time on these people. And with people that you're dating, also make sure you can fully trust them before sending any kind of revealing content of yourself, because if you might be aware that they could use it against you, then should you really be dating them? That kind of stuff. And I've also made my fair share of mistakes, but I've learned to at least conceal if I really wanted to send a nude any way to identify myself or other people. And always make sure that they do not stay on your phone anywhere on any online devices, because they will be used against you otherwise. Everyone's watching you. The government, for sure, but also just for your own safety. So I hope that I could teach 2 things in this episode, not only how to, deal with hateful people, but also make sure you don't come into contact with being harassed by these hateful people with your own goddamn pictures, because that's one of the worst things that can fucking happen to someone. And to the victims of what happened, like what I just, like, their contents being like leaked, they all told me the same thing. I shouldn't have done it. I was so dumb. I was so young. And that's the thing, like, sometimes I hear ages of 13 and 15, and I'm like, do not. If someone is requesting nudes from you at that age, reconsider your relationship. I don't care if they're the same age as you, like, disturbs me highly. Even I still think, like, okay, all right, I'm turning 18 soon. Should I really? And yeah, that's just all that I have to say for this. Like, I know this is a bit of a rougher topic to talk about, and I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm not gonna be a liar and be like, oh yeah, no, I don't send nudes. I've never sent any explicit content. I've never had any kind of sexual sexually tinted, like, contact with people online and that kind of stuff, because that's just not true. And I know how many people engage in this kind of behavior too, but then if you're going to do it safe. And to touch once more again on the hateful thing, do not waste your time on people that are just trying to make themselves look better or good, or are just trying to instill any kind of bad emotion in you. It's not going to get you anywhere. And that's where I end this episode. I really hope you have a good day, whatever. Lots of love. And for the people who have suffered any kind of harassment that I just spoke about, I wish you a awesome road to recovery. And let's hope we see each other again.